son of Sam, also known as son of Sam Hain. This was admitted by David Berkowitz to be the real meaning behind the name Son of Sam. He also admitted to being part of a occult group that met at a park, and he named them as the Process Church. Now, I'm going to show evidence here that I've never seen presented that pretty much confirms this, and I think that's important. And how no one's ever presented this before is kind of beyond me, because it's quite obvious, as you're going to see. The symbol you see on screen is the Son of Sam logo or symbol, as drawn by David Berkowitz or somebody in the cult, because there's also information that the letters were not written by him, by his hand. They were written by other people. So that in itself is interesting. It shows there's a conspiracy of some sort, a group of people working together. I'm quite sure that David Berkowitz did not dream up this symbol, because it has a lot of occult meaning, and I doubt he was that deep on that topic. And this is probably the creation of somebody from the Process Church, because it represents exactly one of their diagrams. I actually have a number of their diagrams, but I'm just going to use one here because it equates quite well to this logo you see. Now, this logo represents dualism. You have the cross above and an S below. That's Christ and Satan. They're the opposite. They cancel each other out. And on the left, you have a female symbol, and on the right, you have a male symbol. That's another set of dualism that cancels each other out, or however you want to look at it. But another way to look at this is in the middle, as above, so below. That's a very popular occult saying. And that type of ideology was also used by Genesis Peorage with her cult that was created called the Temple of Psychic Youth. I showed some of that in the last video, where they use as their symbol a triple cross. And so you have a cross above and a cross below that represents as above, so below. That's according to them. So it's all about dualism. And this all stems back to the fact that all of these occult practices, all of these things, lead back to Gnosticism. And Gnosticism really formulated just before the year 0, in around minus 27 BC, as I call it, minus 27, in Alexandria, where they were merging certain philosophies together, ancient Aryan philosophies with other ones, to create Gnosticism. Because the basis of Gnosticism also comes out of Zoroastrianism, which is more ancient and completely 100% Aryan light worship. Gnosticism is light worship, where their God is the God of light. They believe that people are light beings, that you have light inside of you. When you die, you ascend and merge back into the light, or the source. Exactly the New Age terminology and baloney that is promoted today. It's just always reformulated to disguise it and to pretend that it's new when it's really old. It's ancient. And it's always presented in 100 different forms, but it's the same thing. They'll create a religion just for you, but the basis of it is the same thing. It's a trick. Something I learned a long time ago by researching this. I've been researching this for decades. So I didn't want to make this very long video. I just want to state that what you have here is dualism. Christ above, Satan below, female on the left, male on the right. Now let's look at a process church symbol. This is from the process church directly. Look in the middle, Christ and Satan. They oppose each other. It's dualism. It's the same thing. Now, I could just end it here, but the Lucifer and Jehovah part are very interesting and equate to female and male. Now, this part could be argued, I suppose, but I believe that it is accurate. Lucifer, of course, is displayed as white, the light, the illumination, the enlightenment. Jehovah is demonstrated as black. This is exactly what Gnosticism preaches. The dark, evil God is called the demiurge in Gnosticism. It equates to the creator God or the God of the Jews. This is another reason they hate Jews. They believe that the dark God is the creator God and suppresses freedom. So you want to be enlightened and become free by following Lucifer. And I believe, and this is my own opinion, that you can equate Jehovah to the male symbol because the church is essentially representative of Jehovah, whether that's a Judaic church or a Christian church. Essentially, it's patriarchy. And that's what the world has lived under for a long time. And that's represented by a male ruler, male domination. Now, when occultism started rearing its ugly head, breaking away from that, and I'm not opposed to freedom for women or anything like that at all. So don't get that wrong. I'm just trying to demonstrate the possibilities here of what this means. Women are often associated with breaking away from the patriarchy as witches. So they were representative of freedom, different ideas, mysticism, and there's a lot of occult things related to women. That's why witches were women initially, at least considered that way. Of course, there were warlocks or whatever they were called, but the female is considered something opposing that. And also, if you look at your histories, women were often described as easily influenced by demonic forces. And I think that's probably true from my experience. Just my opinion. I don't think thousands of years of history could be easily disposed of when people for thousands of years came to this conclusion. So I'm not going to argue with that because I think it's accurate. That's nothing against women at all. It's just a fact. So this is another reason you have somebody like Madame Blavatsky coming out and illuminating people with her knowledge, which basically came from the Freemasons, who worship Lucifer. So she was provided information, in my opinion. I don't believe she just came up with that information. And she published it and presented it. And it was specifically done to bring women freedom as well. That's why she was promoted to do this. And it was part of an occult movement in the mid to late 1800s. And that all led eventually to theosophy. That then led to essentially to the Nazism, which was completely Gnostic and fully supported by the Catholic Church. By the way, the Third Reich is a Catholic Reich by definition. Look up the First, Second, and Third Reich. It's a Catholic empire. And it's controlled by them and created by them. And it was done for a specific reason in Europe. That's beyond the scope of this video, though. But I believe that the symbolism here is accurate. for what some people believe, Lucifer being an occult, an illumination, or enlightenment group. Also, the symbology of the New Age movement or the Theosophy, etc., is always female characters, like Isis, for example. Sophia. That's all part of Gnosticism. So it all equates perfectly. And there's no tubby little Jewish boy out of New York who's coming up with this symbol.
The sky